I really thank you all for coming. So my darling husband, Sir High Chief Dr. Ona Ekhomu, you left us too soon, though you left such great footprints in Nigeria and the global stage. You are not forgotten. Your legacy lives on. We love and miss you. Happy heavenly 70th birthday celebration. Continue to rest in the bosom of the Lord. Thank you.
Stand ovation. Madam, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I said it before. I said, how many of you, your wife, be able to say, if after of coming back again, I will marry my husband. In fact, madam, I want to thank you for loving our chairman, loving our boss, loving our the man that brought us, all of us up. We want to thank you. We want to appreciate you. Madam, here, for all ladies, for young girls coming up, a lesson that you need to learn from. Madam, thank you so much. In fact, it's not a lesson you teach in the class. A lesson you see practically. You see her and you learn from her. For what she has said, I experienced with almost 40 years. I don't know if you are going to attend that you are going to spend 40 years. So it's a lesson put together, 40 years lecture, put together in one day. So young ladies, please you can learn. Thank you, madam. We appreciate you. I think the best I can do at this moment, this off my program, is for all of us to rise and sing happy birthday to Dr. Ona and know what Dr. would have been doing by now. Please, can we all rise? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless his soul. May the good Lord bless his soul. May the good Lord bless his soul. May the good Lord bless him. Hip, 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 hooray! Hip, 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 hooray! Hip, 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 hooray! Thank you. It was a jolly good. Thank you. Krista, that's a wonderful one. Thank you. I want to appreciate all of you for singing that happy birthday song for Ona Ekhomu. Okay. Yes. Having heard from my wife, we want to take a tribute from our wonderful guest here. Just show by raising your hand. I will give you the mic.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't know what it was when I got the invite. I didn't know whether it was a party or, but I thought so. So last year I wrote my memoir, and because of the title of the memoir, My Life in Leadership and Security, there would have been no way Dr. Ona's name would be in that book. And I just maybe want to read a part of it. I didn't know I was going to speak, but I think it's important that we keep records, but let me just take a copy of the book. I was going to read it from my phone. I think it's page 95. So I begin. In 2016, a renowned private security analyst, the late Dr. Ona Ekhomu, a global leader in industrial security, a founding member of the Association of Industrial Security and Safety Operators of Nigeria, ISON, African representative of IPSO, and founder of Transworld Security System and School of Management and Security, took a keen interest in my work after we hosted him at the Private Security Summit organized by the River State chapter of ALPSEN. His support deepened when I passed the preliminary exam for the Certified Protection Officer course with a distinction earning a prize. This accomplishment prompted Dr. Ona to supervise my final exams in Port Harcourt and presented me with the award. I vividly remember being pregnant with my third child at the School of Management and Security Studies. Despite my advanced pregnancy, I was determined to complete this course. I humorously compared my CPO book to the pregnancy book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, as both were similar in volume, and I often read them together. But most especially, I don't want to read everything so you can get the book. But Dr. Ona's mentorship extended beyond my studies. He involved me in supervising the next CPO class final exams. As a member of ISIN, I participated in quarterly security meetings. My first big break in the security industry came during an ISIN conference in 2019, where I was invited as a panelist to speak on the topic, Ransom Kidnap, a grave threat to travelers and rural communities. I shared my experience as a negotiator during my mother's kidnap, an inspiring and insightful presentation. Shortly after, I received an invitation to deliver a lecture at the graduation of ISIN CPO students on the topic, Security Entrepreneurship, Strategy Formulation for Security Operators in 2021. So I think that's the end of it. So in all of it, it's been beautiful. Everything that's been said about Dr. Ona, there is no fiction. You know, he's a humble person. He's very generous. When I first moved to Lagos, my kids and I were walking on Oniru, the palace, because we lived at number 20. So while we were walking, Dr. Ona came with, I think, Tokbe. They were in a hillock. And he said, oh, Burka, it's you. I'm like, yes, I just relocated to Lagos. And he came down because he was trying to supervise one of his new clients. He came down, he touched my kids, he gave them money, you know, and that's how he's so, you know, like generous and sweet. And he saw me as, when you go down in my book, I shared when I didn't even understand what leadership was, you know, because really, leadership is a privilege others give you. You don't take yourself and become a leader. So he started talking to me because during the time he wanted me to deliver a lecture, I said, okay, what am I going to say? So while he was talking to me, he referred me to so many things that I didn't even know about myself. He said, you know, you're one of the leaders in this industry. I'm like, okay, because I really needed to know what he was talking about. I said, okay, let me just record so that I would, you know, remember all he said to me about the strategy formulation. And I so thank God that each time I want to listen to the recording, he made me realize that I was in a leadership position, and he said so many things that baffled me, and I just thank God for him, and I'm really, really glad to come celebrating with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please celebrate Ms. Buruka. Please, you wouldn't know the depth of, okay, you wouldn't know the kind of person who I just spoke with just now. I was talking with somebody not quite long, who happens to be your student in, is it Christopher University, am I right? No. One of those who gave lecture to, yes. Online lectures.
Yes.
We were talking just, and I just mentioned her name. The person said, that's my lecturer. I was so surprised. So please give another round of applause. And all that came to Dr. Ona. You had the contact. That's how she came up in the security industry. So ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned before that there's somebody who got an award. That was the last award inside this room. Dr. Ona was, in fact, the chairman, I don't know, Ekhomu was ambassador for the potentiary. Dr. Ona was the potentiary on that day when she got the award. And that was the last celebration I remember very well here. That was July. It was August, July 6th, I remember. By July 22nd, Doctor became sick. 24th, he became sick. And by August 9th, he passed. So the lady is here with us. No other person but Madam Ochanya. Please, give her a round of applause.
Yeah. If you're looking out for anyone that the family of Chief Dr. Ona has impacted, you don't need to look any further. This is one standing before you. 20 years ago, I left the public service for private practice. I was employed as the chief security officer and the chief risk officer of a fintech. And then at the time, transport was provided. providing security services to this organization. Then I had a meeting with my managing director and the service provider. And it was in the persons of Dr. Ona and my great mom here. And they saw this innocent lady, and then they just took interest in me. You know, when you have a passion for a thing, you do it effortlessly. They saw me and they just took this interest in me from nowhere. And they started nurturing me, giving me the growth and the encouragement, the training that I needed to be able to exceed in this organization. And that was the story. They made me to become a member of ASIS. I got my CPU very long time ago. But I got so busy. You know what it is to work with a private organization that has affiliation with global organizations. Because my company brought Visa into Nigeria, then MasterCard followed, Amex followed, and I was the group chief risk officer. So my portfolio was so large, I couldn't follow through with the mentoring. I dropped off because I was so busy. I tried to get my CPP, I couldn't because I didn't have the time till today. And then they have nurtured me to become this lady that you are seeing here. And living a life of impact. To me, Doctor is here. I've never felt like he died. Last night I was telling my husband, I never felt like he died, and I still do not feel like he died. I don't know why. That is how I feel anyway. So I still feel that he's still with us. Because he was so impactful that the legacy could still be felt and could still be seen. That is why we are here today. He was such a humble man, very informal. He could walk in here with his bare feet, you know. He could, relate with anyone, even the barest in the kidder. Eddie was saying this and I was just smiling. I said, this is just my own impression of him. If not, how could he have taken note of somebody like me and said, no, we need to bring this woman up, to the level that he needed to be. And I also said that he didn't die, he's still with us because our mama is still very much around. He left a very big shoes, but he fitted into it perfectly. He was able to continue with the business. He was able to also continue to lead in the industry, still mentoring everyone, still nurturing everyone. And madam, I thank you so much for that. And I give glory to God because he has done so wonderfully well by placing them in my path. Thank you so much for coming. We will continue to celebrate him. We will continue to celebrate you. You're such a great woman. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So, hello, Mr. China. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm seeing hands up. August Friends, Fontenay initiator, please recognize your hands. I will call you. Somebody has been raising his hand before now. Mr. Okoji. I can't hear you. Oh, can I see you clap for you? From sitting back. Hey, okay. CT, what do I call it? Sitting back. Okay, I'll come and open an account. I will come. Thank you, sir. And welcome, sir. I will not tell you before you came that during your wedding, I was one that led security men on the special duty.
Oh,
I remember.
I see.
Yeah, a long time ago.
25 years.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome, sir.
It's a very special day, March 26th. We're not only remembering the life and times of Dr. Ona Ekhomu, we're also celebrating his life. When I look back at the life and times of Dr. Ona Ekhomu, 3 fond memories quickly come to my mind. Within 3 minutes, I will just recall the memories. The first memory was about 44 years ago, when he came to my house to ask for my lovely sister in marriage. He wore a very dapper suit, very handsome guy, as if he had not jumped out of an American movie. Very handsome, very smart, can remember what he wore, a grey trouser, a cream shirt, and a nice suit to match. And he was like, so handsome.
The man was a good toast.
Yes, very, very handsome. He was not like a Nigerian at all. And when it came to time to eat, my mom was going around the place. And my mom came to him and asked him, what will you eat? I was there. I expected him to say he would eat rice, chicken, and salad. He didn't say that. He said, I want to eat eba. Eba was his favorite food back in the days. And I think he had a nickname for eba then. They called it snappies. Yeah, I can remember that time. So over time, him and his very good friend there, Marcel, they always came to our house. Every time they come, they're not asking for pounded yam, they're asking for eba. The second time I met him was in Benin, when I went to see him in his. He had an office on Ewa Road. When I got in there, he had books all over the place. He was doing a lot of research and he was so busy. And I thought he would not even have time for us. But even despite how busy he was, he made out time, called his driver, and he took us out for lunch at a nice place, I think close to Airport Road then. The third time I met him, the third time I can recall it was when he came to Kaduna. And he came with a very big box. And that box was like, it was built like a house. It had windows, it had doors and everything. And when you try to go through the door without approval, there was an alarm that blew up. You understand? When you tried to punch through the window, an alarm came up. It was like an intruder system and everything. And he was demonstrating with the box, a demo box. And that bettered Transworld, which we know today. Because shortly after, he launched he opened an office on Allen Avenue. That's Transworld Consultant and Transworld Security. And through that, he touched on so many lives. He also touched on my life too, because I could recollect when I was on Allen Avenue. I just finished from school then, and I went to work in the banking industry. I was on an accounting firm. And I went to his office. And despite how busy he was, he took my hand. And we strolled down Allen Avenue then. And we went to Commercial Bank of Africa then. Then the MD was Chief Ona Ekhomu, and he took me to the man and said, look, this is my guy. I wanted to give him a job. Shortly after, a week after, I was ready for an interview. And then he was just smiling when I came in. They asked a few questions, and it was a done deal. And that was how I started my banking career that lasted about 20 years. So Ona Ekhomu had an infectious smile. He's always joking, makes fun out of everything. Even when he was ill, we make fun out of it. There's nothing he didn't make fun out of. And when you come in, you can hear his laughter ringing from down the staircase. And it was fun to be with. Even if you're unhappy, when you come into his presence, you are happy. I mean, you can never see him sad or frowning. It was as if he was not in this planet. He didn't have the problems of this world. He was extremely happy and everything. So today, we remember his accomplishments in life. In the security industry, he brought CPO, affected so many lives. Even when I talk about security, he was a go-to man in security. He was a security brand himself. When you talk about security, when you just show Ona's face or so, and everybody knows him, regular person on channels, whenever there's a crisis, even this last crisis, they will run to him. They kept on running to him for all security matters. I mean, he accomplished so much in this lifetime. And as people say, it's not how long you live that matters, it's the impact you made. Ona has made a serious impact and will continue to celebrate him over and over again. So today for me, I was surprised today by just saying that my theme for today is thank you. Dr. Ona, thank you for your smile, thank you for your jokes, thank you for your laughter, thank you for the security industry, and thank you for being a fantastic relation. Thank you so much.
That's a good one. Please, I don't have applause for his advancement. In fact, I think he has spoken it all. That's it. Intellectually, succinctly put. That's the best way I put it. Succinctly put. Description of Dr. Ekhomu. So please, a leader in the industry is here, and she wants to also speak to us, pay tribute to Dr. Ona Ekhomu.
And in the industry, I began to grow. And Oga really encouraged me. And looking back now, I remember as I sat in the office and I saw his obituary, I began to be. Somebody walked into my office and said, Auntie Shey, what is wrong with you? I said, no, Oga just died. I said, Oga. Yes, I said, he just passed away. I don't know what happened. I wept all the way home. I could not be consoled. I told everybody, listen, who cared to listen? And when I saw it 2 days back, that there will be a posthumous birthday, I said to myself, if I wasn't able to make the burial at Ibuwa, I should, if for that turns in his grave, wouldn't he say Shey? So you didn't come. So I said to myself, you must be here. And I was very glad. I'm very glad. Thank you very much. for feeding me the gap.
That's gracious. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for her. For her greeting you. A round of applause for her. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Those people that doctor imparted on academically and industry-wise and all that. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I also have another in-law who I want to talk now. I've introduced before. He's the man that employed me in this company. Ladies and gentlemen, not that person, but Barrister Wilson Sakwado. Okay, a round of applause.
Good evening, everybody. I said it would be most inappropriate if I sit down and leave without saying anything. Dr. Ona Ekhomu's in-law. And not the life I've lived since I finished school, I can say that my pathway, he actually drew my pathway in life. But when I finished school, while my brothers were getting jobs in the banks, I could have gotten the job in the bank if I wanted. But Dr. Ona Ekhomu changed my destiny for the better. I never knew that I would come into this industry, but he brought me into this industry. So everything I've achieved, I owe it to him. I never knew there was anything like ASIs. He took me to assist internationally. It was called American Society for Industrial Security. He encouraged me to become the chapter secretary. And while I was chapter secretary, I was given an opportunity to get my American visa. Even though at that time, I knew under my circumstances, if I go, they would leave me. I told somebody I was going, so I should forget it. But I said I should not. There is a letter from ASIs. I think we were about 5 or 6 that letter covered. Even though at that time, I all have an account, they will stop our visa rejected. But because of that letter, they gave us, all of us, only one person that they did give visa because he could not talk, no expression, they were asking questions. And he was saying the wrong things, so they stopped the visa because it did not make sense to them. So, when it was time for me to do CPP, there was only one that had it in 2000. Between 2000 and 2004, no other person to pass. Of course, when people are traveling to write the exam, they will make noise, they are traveling to the US to write the exam. When they come back, they ask them, how was the exam? They say, don't ask me. You know what that means? They failed. So, in 2004, I went to the US. And where did I stay? I stayed in his house. And he guided me. There was a study guide that he actually hid in his cupboard. But he wanted me to read all the books. The books were so many. He gave me all the materials. There were about 15 books those days. Not the one that they are doing now. Where you have POA. They weren't like POA. There were 15 big books that we had to read. But when I read so much, it would be as if my head is on fire. As if fire is burning on my head. But when it was able to the exam, he called me. I said, he wants to tell me something. What is it? He said, there's a book. He said, it's time for me to go and read the CPP study guide. So I should forget about those books. I believe I've read enough. And then I went to write the exam. But he also taught me something, how to make notes. But I work with him. Anytime he calls for me, once I enter his office, the person who asks me is, where's your notebook? Up to today, I still use a notebook to organize myself. So while I was reading all those 15 books, I made notes. And I had a friend I stayed with that night. But I got tired of reading, so I dropped my note. He took my notebook. The cut-off mark was 650. This was all I had not read anything. He scored 647. He missed it by 3 marks. So I still owe that to Dr. Ona because he made a lot of impact in my life. All the positions I occupied in ASI, he encouraged me. And he mentored me. I remember when I worked with him as admin manager, he said to come out to come and give a lecture on the legal aspects of security. And I said, I don't know how to teach. He said, teaching starts from one day. So he taught me how to teach. So the teaching I'm able to do now, I still owe it to him, even though it's supposed to be in my blood. But if it's in your blood, somebody has to guide you, somebody has to teach you. His death came as a shock, because that was not something any person expected. It was a shock to all of us, but he had to go at the time he did. His life is a lesson to all of us. What the legacy we really like to leave behind us? Because we're not going to live forever. The time will come. We'll have to go back to where we came from. Are you going to be celebrated just like the way Dr. Ona Ekhomu is being celebrated? Is your wife going to celebrate you? Are your children going to celebrate you? It's a choice we have to make. But one thing I want to tell you is, back to what the former speaker said, Dr. Ona Ekhomu is alive. It's alive in our hearts. For those of you who are willing to open up your heart to him, he will be there for you. I actually had a dream about him some days back. And whatever we are seeing now is a manifestation of that dream. There's an opportunity for all of us to rally around the family and show them that we love them. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause about Thank you so much. Hold on, sir. There are two people that have been, the hands have been, the man from Unilag is there. CSO Grand Product, Mr. Anthony Azogo, he was the first guest to come to this. He wants to say one thing or the other about Dr. Ona. Just give me, I'm noting it, I will call all of you, please.
I greet everyone. We're all welcome to this precious occasion. I want to speak briefly about my mentor, friend, and father. The man I loved so much because of his charisma. He was such a great man, educated, with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but very simple, down to earth. He never looked down on anyone, including his gateman or any messenger. So he is seen as great from grassroots to up. There's one thing that touches me about him. He spoke loudly, media, face to face with the Nigerian crowds, crying out against insecurity and its aftermath in Nigeria, but nobody took heed about it. I call him a great prophet because today, even when he's resting in peace, everything he said has come to play. All is coming to play. But today, I see him here Even we think we just remember him, but I am seeing him. He's living on. And how do I say it? He had something in him that he wanted to give to humanity. He saw it, grabbed it, and ran back to Nigeria and established it. He was not speaking just as a professor, as a teacher. He got it into our blood, wanting us as individuals to give to others too. I have enjoyed it, and many of us are here today because we inherited it, and we are already giving out. But there's something very wonderful about him. I see him living in the wife. I see him living in his children. I see him living in his workers. That's wonderful. I don't have much to say, but I pray that God in his infinite mercy will remember one single thing he did in life. Mercy to rest in peace. Thank you.
What's here so? That's why I call it what's here so. Play a round of applause for Antonio Azog, CSO Grand Project. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Oga's a friend from Uniland. His hand has been up right from time. Sir, it's your turn now. No, before our doctor will be clapping his hands, we are coming now. Look, I want to be better doctor and clap hand for you. You're welcome, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the boss at the same time. I've known him for quite a while. I just mentioned one or two, three things he has done have touched my life. In the University of Lagos, he was well known for his generosity, very good way. Like Madam said earlier on, he can give anything to anybody. He can release his shoe and walk barefooted. That is a doctor honor for you. But personally, I remember some years back when I was about to give my daughter into marriage. I approached Doctor, my daughter getting married. He would say, are you sure? That's good, I'll be there. Somehow he couldn't make it. He said, I will give you something, and then just to make sure that you don't feel bad for not being there. And exactly what he promised he did. Now, one thing he did that I will never forget, that touched my life personally, was sometime in 2020, he was about to launch a book. So he came to campus and said he wanted to launch a book. And somehow, because of the COVID-19, the day was postponed. So I said, and I was working on a particular project on that at material time. I quickly went to say, now that a guy is launching a book, I make sure I will be there just to grasp the knowledge of how a philanthropist will launch a book, so that my own will not get flunked. So unfortunately, that book couldn't be launched. But something happened. When I came to his office, I said, okay, this book I want to launch, I'll be there. He said, it's been postponed. I said, no problem, anytime I will come. That I'm actually working on a project. He said, what is the book? What is the title of the book? I told him. He now said something prophetically. He said, this book, are you sure of this topic? I said, yes, sir. This is going to touch lives. And what was the topic? He thought it was domestic violence against men. So when he had the name, he said, in real sense, it is actually insecurity, it's a domestic insecurity. He said, this book will touch lives. And that was way back 2020. Now, I launched the book formally on the 25th of September 2024, like about 4 years after. Now that's something, I now remember that statement. After launching the book, I was invited without any formal information, so to say, to University of Lagos radio 103.1. Immediately after launching, it became rowdy, everybody in the campus, very controversial, domestic violence against men. How do you mean? Is there any at all? If there is any, is it a reality? Is it a myth? No, going to be controversial. They say, okay, come to the radio station, come and explain to more community of the camp or the university. So I went there. To my surprise, thereafter, more than 5 radio stations invited me, one after the other. And each time they called me, I remember the man, Dr. Ona, told me this book will touch lives. That was when it was a long time ago before I even thought of launching. So all along, up to the television houses. So I say, thank God for his life because he touched lives. So another thing I want to leave as a parting point is that all of us here, naturally, we want to live long or longer, as the case may be. Let us prefer and pray God to give us that grace he gave to Ona, Dr. Ona, because a grace, it is what we live in the life that people talk about that matters, not how long we live. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, sir. You know, you see people from the academia, those academic people, when they speak, yes. One of the stuff as doctors know, when he talks to authority, I appreciate it. And he prophesied, he saw that coming, that book will part life and he parted life. I'm happy to hear about that. God bless you, sir. I know many of that people are raising their hand, and I have the honor and the privilege, ladies and gentlemen, I have the single honor now to invite not that person, but my general manager to speak and pay tribute to Dr. Ona Ekhomu. Mr. Austin Isikwemesa.
I can still afford to crack jokes because from what you heard from everyone who has spoken, Dr. Ona was a man of jokes. But he took everything he did